In this video, I'm going to show you the what, why, when, how, everything you need to know about making a good clarinet embouchure. My name is Josh Gu, and I'm taking my years of experience learning, teaching, and performing, and sharing all of my best clarinet and music tips so you can get more out of your practice, and most importantly, have fun. You can learn more about all of my many resources at QuickStartClarinet.com, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell to get notified when I post new videos. I'm excited to be making these clarinet fundamentals back to basics videos. These are perfect for if you're just getting started out, and also great if you have a little bit more experience playing and you're looking for those little things that make the big difference, because fundamentals, in my opinion, are the foundation to everything that we do on the instrument, and the stronger foundation that we can have, the easier everything else will be. So if you enjoy this, then leave a like on the video so that I know that you're enjoying it and I can make more in this series, and check the description for a link to the full playlist of all of the topics that I will be covering in this fundamentals series. I wanted to start this series with embouchure because I do think that air is the most important part of playing the instrument, but I think the air, the fingers, some of those other things are a little bit more straightforward, or some of the more complicated things like the tongue and stuff like that don't make as much of an impact as the embouchure. So it's one of those core things that will make a night and day difference in how easy the notes come out, your overall sound, and it's not as straightforward as just cover the holes or blow well like the air and fingers are. So starting off here with the embouchure, I want to start by talking about what makes a good embouchure. So the whole role of the embouchure is to facilitate, enable, and encourage reed vibrations. We have the air going, which is the fuel to the sound. The embouchure is sort of the engine that converts that fuel into energy and motion, and in this case it's energy and motion of the reed, which is what creates the sound of the instrument. So it's really important for the embouchure to be functioning as efficiently as possible so that you get as much transition of air to actual reed vibrations and actual good sound on the instrument. So when it comes to facilitating and enabling reed vibrations with the embouchure, the two very important things are, one, that you aren't dampening the vibrations of the reed with your lower lip. That would sound something like this, where you have a really squishy bottom lip. And it creates that really airy and fuzzy sound. Then kind of the other extreme, the other thing that you want to make sure that you aren't doing is pinching off the vibrations of the reed, which would sound something like this. There's maybe also a little bit of a fuzziness to that sound too, but it's most notably a very thin sound. So that's what we don't want to do. So how do we set up our embouchure to make sure we aren't doing those things? So the first thing that we need to do to prevent fuzzy dampening of the reed vibrations is make sure that this bottom lip is nice and firm to the touch. So the way that I like to think about that is pushing the jaw forward a little bit, having the bottom lip come flat against the teeth. Sometimes we'll call this a flat chin or a pointed chin. Pointing kind of feels like the jaw coming forward when you point your chin forward. Smashing the lip muscles against the bottom teeth is the flattening of the chin. And either way, the end goal is that we have a nice solid surface here for the reed to vibrate against. And that will make it so as the reed's vibrating against your lip, the lip isn't squishy and dampening the vibrations. It's a nice, firm, solid surface for the reed to freely vibrate against. Now, the other big important part is not pinching off the vibrations of the reed, and that comes from the corners of the mouth and how open your mouth is in general. If we bite down this way, which is a super natural motion for our jaw muscles that we're really comfortable with from talking and chewing, but if we do that on the clarinet, especially if we have a nice firm to the touch bottom lip, but we bite down and put the pressure this way, then we'll end up pinching off the reed vibrations. So instead of putting pressure this way, I want you to think about squeezing in the corners, putting pressure in this way, and that will naturally open this up. So the idea is we have a firm surface to the lip that's not pressing into the reed too hard, and that maximizes the vibrations of the reed. My favorite simple exercise to feel what it feels like to have this nice embouchure shape is what I call the finger straw exercise. So what you're gonna do is take your finger, hopefully it's clean, and you're gonna put your top teeth onto your fingernail, and then you're gonna pretend that you're drinking out of your finger as if you're trying to drink a really thick milkshake or something like that. And you'll get something like this, hopefully. And just like when you're drinking out of a straw, it's really important that you aren't putting too much pressure on it, because if you just squeeze down and pinch off the straw, then your milkshake's never gonna make it through. So we need that strong suction, but we need to stay nice and open. So we don't want this bottom lip to bunch up and just squeeze the finger, because that's gonna pinch off the straw or pinch off the reed vibrations. We want to suck, but think about pointing the chin down, think about bringing the corners in, opening the jaw, and you should get that nice flat chin, pointed chin, corners in, top lip coming down, good seal all the way around. And that kind of shape to the embouchure. And that's exactly what we want to bring to the clarinet. And just like when we put our top teeth onto our fingernail, we want to do the same thing with the clarinet, or we have the clarinet anchored up into that top teeth. We have good stability just between the top teeth and the thumb. We can hold the clarinet there stably because we're sort of pushing up that way. And then we do that same shape and structure of when we were sucking. Bring that to the clarinet. And that should give you a nice clear and full sound, which is what we want. If the embouchure is in good shape and we're blowing good air, that's also very important. We should have a clear, full sound, not a fuzzy sound with the lip dampening or a thin sound with the lip pinching off the reed vibrations. And I want to quickly cover a couple more common mistakes that we can have that may give you a thin or fuzzy or crazy sounds, even if your embouchure shape is right. The first one is how much mouthpiece is actually in your mouth. So if you're getting a very thin sound, even though my embouchure shape is great, the sound is still very thin. That means I need more mouthpiece in the mouth, more reed actually in there to vibrate. Now we can go the other extreme and put too much mouthpiece in your mouth, and that will start to get a very big, wide, kind of uncontrolled sound, where it's really quite honky. Or if you go even too far, you might get something like this, where it's just a big squonk, kind of very squeaky, very loud squeak. Not just a little chirp, but a really squawky squeak. So that's if you have too much. So experiment with how much mouthpiece in there makes it sound the best. The other thing that will make a big difference with how the embouchure is interacting with the reed is the angle of the instrument. So if you're way too far out, again, it's kind of that big unfocused sound. If you're way too far in, it's again that very thin pinched off sound. So we want to find that happy medium. And the one last little tip that's not quite embouchure in this video that I want to give you though, is as you're putting fingers down, you will also get squeaks if your fingers aren't completely covering the holes. So make sure that you're completely covering the holes. Check in the mirror what this embouchure shape looks like. See if you're keeping that shape as you come to the instrument, and then covering all the holes, and you should end up with a clear, full sound. All right, I hope that this has helped you to get a great start to your embouchure on the clarinet. Remember, even if you aren't first starting out and you've been playing for a while, All of these tips are great to go back and review, check in with yourself, look in the mirror. Maybe you know these things, maybe there were some new things that you learned, but are you actually doing them and doing them the best that you can? Because no matter what level you're at, even at my professional level, I'm still thinking about, am I really pointing my chin? Is my embouchure really good? Am I enabling and facilitating the best reed vibration? So whether you're starting out or at any point along your clarinet journey, this information is great to be reviewing and refreshing. So keep thinking about it. Let me know in the comments if you learned anything new. Let me know in the comments if there's any particular basic or fundamental skill that you would like me to do a video like this on. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. And last but not least, a huge heartfelt thank you to the Dennersons. This is like the QuickStart Clarinet family who supports the channel and helps to make everything that I do possible. If you would like to support the channel and get some awesome rewards in return where we can work one-on-one over video and you can have my full support moving forward on your clarinet journey, then go to quickstartclarinet.com/supporter.